Good afternoon. My name is Janet. Welcome to this channel. I hope God has protected you and kept you safe. And please subscribe to this channel. We are going to read Daniel chapter 2 today. And remember, we have started up with Daniel, the book of Daniel. And it was the introduction in chapter number 1, which was had a lot to do with the beginning of the book of Daniel. So let's see what chapter number 2 tells us. Now, in the second year of Nebuchadnezzar's reign, Nebuchadnezzar had dreams. Now, this is where we have started reading interesting things about the book of Daniel, because Nebuchadnezzar's reign, in the second year, he had a dream, or he had dreams, and his spirit was so troubled that his sleep left him. Then the king gave the command to call the magicians, the astrologers, the sorcerers, and the Chaldeans to tell the king his dream. So they came and stood before him. The king could not sleep. God can trouble you. Let me tell you, God can make sure that you'll not sleep, so that for a certain reason you are awake. So Nebuchadnezzar had dreams that were troubling him, and he couldn't sleep. He had to call all the astrologers, the magicians, the sorcerers, and hey, this must have been a dream that was really disturbing him. So let's read more and hear what happens. So they all came and stood before the king, and the king said to them, I've had a dream, and my spirit is anxious to know the dream. Imagine it's you who dreamt, and now you are calling people that your spirit is anxious to know the dream. Then Chaldeans spoke to the king in Aramaic. O king, live forever. Tell your servants the dream, and we will give the interpretation. Those are the Chaldeans. They spoke to the king in Aramaic and told him and said, O king, live forever. Tell your servants the dream. Tell us what you dreamt. Tell us, and we are going to interpret. In fact, they were speaking to the king in Aramaic. When you go somewhere and you want to speak your language, and now you you want to pretend to be the know-it-all. Oh my God. So let's hear in verse. We will give the interpretation. Okay, the king answered and said to the Chaldeans, my decision is firm. If you do not make known the dream to me and its interpretation, you shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made an ash heap. However, if you tell the dream and its interpretation, you shall receive from me gifts, rewards, and great honor. Therefore, tell me the dream and its interpretation. Imagine you are seated there and you are being told, if you don't give me a proper interpretation of my dream, I'm going to burn you into pieces, to cut you into pieces. And I'm gonna, do all bad things to you. And you are saying, therefore, tell me the dream and I will interpret it for you. So, those were the Chaldeans that were told that. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream and will give its interpretation. They really had faith in themselves. Should I call it faith or what? I don't know. But they were feeling like, yes, let this dream come and we are going to interpret it. So the king answered and said, I know for certain that you would gain time. Because you see that my decision is firm. If you do not make known the dream to me, there is only one decree for you. For you have agreed to speak lying and corrupt words before me till the time has changed. Therefore, tell me the dream, and I shall know that you can give me its interpretation. The Chaldeans answered the king and said, there is not a man on earth who can tell the king's matter. Therefore, no king, lord, or ruler has ever asked such things of any magician, astrologer, or Chaldeans. It is a difficult thing that the king requests, and there is no one who can tell it to the king except the gods with a small g, whose dwelling is not with flesh. Only the gods with a small g whose dwelling is not with the flesh. Those are the only ones who can tell the meaning of the dream. For this reason, the king was angry and very furious and gave the command to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. Hey, this king was having a bad mood. Now, he has given a decree, a command, that all the wise men of Babylon be destroyed, yet it is him who dreamt. This was not easy. Hey, it wasn't easy. This is not what we expected. For this reason, the king was angry and very furious, and gave the command to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. So that the decree went out, and they began killing the wise men, and they sought Daniel and his companions to kill them. Now, they sought Daniel so that they can kill him, yet it is the king who dreamt. Okay, let's go to verse number 14. God reveals Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Then with counsel and wisdom, Daniel answered Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, who had gone out to kill the wise men of Babylon. He answered and said to Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree from the king so urgent? Why is it so urgent that you want to kill? Why is the decree so urgent? Then Arioch made the decision known to Daniel. So Daniel went in and asked the king to give him time, that he might tell the king the interpretation. Hey, Daniel, you are approaching this king who is very annoyed. Then Daniel went to his house and made the decision known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, that they might seek mercies from the God of heaven concerning this secret, so that Daniel and his companions might not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Hey, they joined forces, the three of them, and said, so that we don't perish, let us pray, let us ask from the God of Israel, God of heaven, concerning this secret. So let us hear, that they may seek mercies from the God of heaven concerning this, so that Daniel and his companions may not perish with the rest of the wise men in Babylon. The secret was revealed to Daniel in a night vision. So Daniel blessed the God of heaven. In a dream, the secret was revealed to Daniel after they prayed to the God of heaven. And so Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of God forever and ever. For wisdom and might are his, wisdom and might are God's. And he changes the times and seasons. Our God changes the times and seasons. He removes kings and raises up kings. Hey, about God changing times and seasons. He is a God who changes times and seasons. You could be going through a season where you are facing death, but God who changes times and seasons. You could be in a season where you are facing, hunger, lack, adversity, and there you are like almost losing hope. But God is the one who changes times and seasons. God changes times. Times can be very bad, but God can change. He removes kings and raises up kings. May God come through for some nations today. Change the kings and remove them and bring others and raise others. He gives wisdom to the wise. God can give wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. He reveals deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and light dwells within him. He also reveals very deep secret things. He reveals very deep secret things. God will speak to you even in a dream, and he's going to reveal something very deep because he's God. And he'll give you wisdom to even get to know the meaning of what he has revealed to you. So, I thank you and praise you, O God of my fathers. You have given me wisdom and might, and I have now made known to me, what we asked of you. Yes, when you pray and God answers. For you have made known to us the king's demands. Okay, so let's hear how Daniel explains the dream to the king. So therefore, Daniel went to Arioch, whom the king had appointed to destroy the wise men of Babylon. Yes. He went and said thus to him, do not destroy the wise men of Babylon. Take me before the king, and I will tell the king the interpretation. Before you destroy them, just take me to the king. and let me go and interpret the dream to him. Then Arioch quickly brought Daniel before the king and said thus to him, I have found a man of the captives of Judah. You remember Daniel was a captive from Judah. And who will make known to the king the interpretation? The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar, are you able to make known to me the dream which I have seen and its interpretation? You can imagine you are before the king and you know the repercussions. You'll be dead if you don't. And you know you cannot go and lie to the king. And you are seated there or you are standing there before the king. And he asks, are you ready to give me the interpretation? Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, the secret which the king has demanded, the wise men, the astrologers and the magicians and the soothsayers cannot declare to the king. But there is a God in heaven who reveals secrets, and he has made known to King Nebuchadnezzar what will be in the last days. Your dream, the visions of your head upon your bed were these. As for you, O king, thoughts came to your mind while on your bed about what would come to pass after this. And he who reveals the secrets has made known to you what will be. But as for me, this secret has not been revealed to me, because I have more wisdom than anyone living. But for our sakes, who make known the interpretation to the king, and that you may know the thoughts of your heart. You, O king, were watching, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose splendor was excellent, stood before you, and its form was awesome. This image's head was of the fine gold, its chest and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, its feet partly of iron and partly of clay. You watched while a stone was cut out without hands, which struck the image on its feet of iron and clay and broke them in pieces. Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were crushed together and became like chaff from the summer threshing floors. The wind carried them away so that no trace of them was found. And the stone that struck the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. What a strange dream this was. This is the dream. Now we will tell you the interpretation. First of all, David now analyzes the dream as it was, as if it is him who was dreaming, and tells the king about that image with iron, bronze, and all those things. And now he's ready to tell the king the interpretation. This is the dream. Now we tell you the interpretation of it before the king. You, O king, are a king of kings. For the God of heaven has given you a kingdom, power, strength, and glory. And wherever the children of men dwell, or the beast of the field, and the birds of heaven, he has given them unto your hands. And he has made you ruler over them all. You are this head of gold. You are this head of gold in the dream. You are this head of gold. But after you shall arise another kingdom, inferior to yours. Then another, a third kingdom of bronze, which shall rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron. Inasmuch as iron breaks in pieces and shatters everything, and like iron that crushes, that kingdom will break in pieces and crush all the others. Whereas you saw the feet and the toes partly of pottery, clay, and partially of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, yet the strength of iron shall be in it, just as you saw the iron mixed with ceramic clay. And as the toes of the feet were partly of iron and partly of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly fragile. As you saw iron mixed with ceramic, clay, with ceramic clay, they will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not adhere to one another, just as iron does not mix with clay. And in the days of these kings, the God of heaven will set up kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. It shall break in pieces and sometimes and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Inasmuch as you saw that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it broke its pieces, the iron and the bronze, the clay and the silver and the gold, the great God has made known to the king what will come to pass after this. The dream is certain, and its interpretation is sure. 46. So Daniel and his friends are going to be promoted, I can tell you for sure. So let's read 46. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell on his face, prostrate before Daniel, and commanded that they should present an offering and incense to him. The king answered Daniel and said, Truly, your God is the God of gods, the gods with a small g. Your God is the God of the small gods. Truly, your God is the God of gods, the Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets. Since you could reveal this secret, then the king promoted Daniel and gave him many great gifts, and he made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon, and chief administrator over all the wise men of Babylon. Also, Daniel petitioned the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel sat in the gate of the king. Amazing. Guys, do you hear that after everything, when you consult God, God is able to give you wisdom. God is able to give you wisdom. And it is only if you consult God that things will work. And that is why we see when Daniel consulted his God, the God of heaven, everything was revealed to him, just in details, as we have read. And you can imagine how the king was feeling, even as he was gifting Daniel with every good gift because of interpreting his dream. May God help us to understand, and may God speak dreams to us, that he will also give us the wisdom to interpret and understand. And revelation should be given to us by the God of heaven so that we also understand ourselves. God bless you. Subscribe to the channel. We are going to continue reading chapter number 3 in the next video. Bye-bye.